So good to have you back, my friends. And today we're just going to get into a gentle flow. So we're going to start today in standing position. As always, we are going to get a little bit meditative, but we're just going to drop into the body really gently, just closing down the eyes, grounding down the feet into the four corners of the feet. Maybe let's just rock backwards and forwards from the toes to the heels, and then just come to a place of balance. You feel really grounded into the floor, into the mat. Fill up those lungs right down into the belly, closing down the eyes, opening up the hands just a little away from the body. Exhaling. Keeping the knees soft, but the legs are active. Taking another deep breath, imagining you're drawing that life energy up from Mother Earth, right up through your spine and right up to the crown of your head. As you draw in the breath, filling the lungs, filling the belly. Holding at the top. And then just letting that breath run down the back body, down the back spine, back down, running back down into Mother Earth. Taking one more breath in, up through the front body, up through the lungs, up to the crown of the head. Holding and letting it go down the back body. My name is Sarah, and I will be guiding you through this flow practice today. So we're just in a moment of stillness, just connected out of the head into the body. We're just going to bring the hands to the prayer position in front of the sternum. You can gently open your eyes, just keeping the gaze soft. We're just going to drop the chin towards the hands, looking down towards the fingers. So gentle stretch. Just pushing those palms together, not too hard, but just applying a bit of pressure, engaging the arms. The legs are still switched on, knees are just gentle. We're going to draw the nose, draw a line with the nose, coming back up, looking up towards the sky, dropping the neck back. Be very gentle with the neck when you're coming back to a neutral position, drawing that nose back down to a neutral position. We're going to just shift ourselves. We're going to look over towards the right shoulder. Taking a breath, exhaling as we come back to the front. Inhaling. We're going to come to the left, looking over the left shoulder. Exhaling as we come back to the front. We're going to drop the neck, head back down towards the fingers. This time we're going to just roll the head around to the left, so we're coming up to the shoulder. Exhaling, dropping the chin back down to the fingers, coming back and over to the right side. We're going to do that one more time. Exhaling, dropping the chin, moving it across the front body and back to the left. Last time, exhaling as we drop the neck down, coming to a neutral position at the front, and then drawing our nose back up. So we're back to the front. We're going to take the hands nice and wide, stretch them out from the body as far as they can go. Really through the fingers, like lightning bolts coming out. And then we're going to wrap them around the front body, giving ourselves a beautiful hug. And you can just rub your hands up and down the back. This is just as good as a hug from someone else. If you need a hug during your day, just give yourself an embrace, maybe rock yourself. Listen to yourself, what your body needs. Into stillness. We're going to take those arms nice and wide again, out through the fingers as far as you can go. We're going to cross the arms the opposite way this time, drawing them in, and give ourselves another lovely big hug. Rocking if you need to, if you wish to. Closing down the eyes, just feeling that embrace. Giving yourself a little pat, a little stroke. And I'm going to take the arms out. We're going to rock the hips. We're going to put a bit of movement into our legs today. Maybe making some figure eights on the mat if you can. You can put your arms into it, whatever feels good for you. No one's here to watch you, even if they are. Just do it like no one's watching anyway. We're going to go the other way. Come back the other way. It's always a little bit more challenging to go the other way. We're just getting into the hips, getting into the corners, warming up the legs. Remembering the breath. I find it really uncoordinated to go this way. How are you finding it? Get the shoulders into it. Warming up the body. Yoga doesn't have to be so traditional. We can get in and find our own groove. It's just about being connected, about moving the body. And we're going to come back to stillness. Taking the hands out, maybe closing down the eyes, drawing that breath in. Feeling the energy settle back into the body. Letting that breath go, releasing anything you've been holding on to. I'm going to walk the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to take the hands to the hips and we're going to bend forward, hinging from the hips, nice and wide. Coming down, you can drop the hands to the mat, you can walk them out a little way from the body. Maybe you can come down a little bit lower, rocking forwards and backwards. Remembering the breath. We're going to walk the hands over to the left foot. Exhaling, walking the hands back to the center. Taking a breath here, maybe going a little bit deeper if you can, into the pose, dropping the head. Inhaling as you come up, we're going to walk the hands over to the right side. Exhaling, drop a little bit deeper. I'm going to walk the hands back round to the front body. Exhaling, letting a little bit deeper if you can, every time. I'm going to take the hands to the hips. I'm going to hinge our way back up, really grounding down into the feet, keeping the knees soft as we rise. We don't want to be putting pressure onto the back. We're going to take the left foot and we're going to bring it round to the front, to the short edge of the mat. We're going to walk that foot out a little bit wider at the back. And our foot is on a 45-degree angle. We're going to bring the hands up overhead and bend that front knee. If possible, try and keep it nice in line with the ankle. Dropping into a crescent pose, a little bit of a back bend. And straightening that front leg. We're going to take the hands to the hips. We're going to drop that back hip out back behind us as we slide the left hand down the left leg, drawing the right hand up into our triangle pose. Looking up towards the hand. We're going to draw that left hand up, bend into that front knee. We're going to come back into our crescent pose. We're going to straighten that front leg as we draw our body round to the front into our wide stance again. We're going to take our hands to our hips. We're a little bit wider this time. We're going to hinge back down. Come down a little bit lower. See if you can get a little bit deeper into the pose. Both feet are facing the front of your mat. Deep breath in. Coming up to a half lift, up onto the fingers. Dropping down into the pose again as we exhale. Drawing ourselves up onto the fingers. We're going to move that right foot round to the short edge of the mat. Back leg is still in a 45-degree angle. We're going to, actually we're not, sorry. Come back, put your foot back straight to the long edge of the mat. We're going to hinge ourselves up first. We just want to make sure we're nice and safe. Now we're going to twist that front foot to the short edge of the mat. We're going to drop that knee on the right leg and draw our hands up into our crescent pose. We're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to drop that hip out to the back. We're going to slide the right hand down the leg, looking up towards the left hand. Bending that front knee as you come up, back into our crescent pose. We're going to drop the hands, we're going to move the body round to the front into warrior two. Looking out through the fingers, you've lost my hand. Limited space here. Looking out through the fingers. Imagine lightning bolts coming out. The warrior in you. We're going to drop forward and bring the left hand overhead, opening up through the chest, through the front body. Not dumping that weight, just resting the hand. Drawing our weight back into our warrior pose and then back, sliding that left hand down the left leg, drawing the right hand up and over. Coming back into our warrior pose, looking out through those fingers. We're going to draw that front foot, that right foot, back towards the front, the hands back on hips, feet facing the long edge of the mat. We're going to do that forward fold one more time, hinging from the hips, keeping the knees soft as we come down, hands to the mat. Seeing if we can go a little bit further. Maybe you can put your hands towards the back of the room. Reach through your legs. Drawing them back to the front, come up into a half lift. Forward fold. Take those hands behind you if you can. Drawing them back to the front. Half lift. We're going to take the hands to the hips. Hinge our way back up again. Keeping those knees soft as we root to rise. Taking a big breath. We're going to slide that left foot to the front. We're going to bend into that front foot. We're going to have our back foot on a 45-degree angle, coming in to our crescent pose, and then stretching arms into our warrior two, looking over the fingers. Making sure that you're not coming too forward to the front. Just shift the body so you're in a central position. Check your arm behind you, that you're in line. We're going to come forward, left hand to the front knee, right hand overhead, looking up towards the hands, so we're opening up through the front body. Drawing the hand down, back to our warrior two, really digging into that front leg. We've got even weight though distributed with both of our legs, so it's not all being dumped into the front. We're going to bring that left hand to the back, letting our right hand draw down the back leg and looking up at the hand. If it's in your practice, drawing the hand back down into our warrior two. I'm going to straighten that front leg. I'm going to bring the hands to the hips, facing that front leg, keeping that front leg nice and straight, a little bit of a bend in the knee. And we're going to hinge to the front, our pyramid pose. Deep inhalation. Exhaling as we come up. We're going to bring that left foot to the front. We're going to swivel that right foot to the short edge of the mat. We're going to straighten that leg. We're going to bring the body to face the right. And once again, just keeping that leg straight. Pyramid pose, bending, hinging from the hips. And drawing the front body up, round to the front, drawing that right foot to face the front of the mat. We're going to heel, toe, together. We're going to take the hands overhead, looking up to the palms, drawing the palms together to the heart center, keeping the knees soft, grounded through the legs, through the feet. Drawing the breath in, hands overhead, drawing them in. We're going to go one more time, bending the knees, up, overhead. This time we're going to draw the hands, we're going to forward fold, and then we're going to step back with the left foot and the right foot into high plank position. Just going to hold here for a couple of breaths. We're going to drop the knees to the mat, plant the feet so the top of the feet are on the mat. We're going to bring the left leg to the front through the hands into a low lunge. Take the hands behind and draw them up overhead. Drawing the hands back to the mat. We're going to straighten that front leg, draw the feet, toes back behind towards us. Flatten that foot as we move forward, back into that lunge. Come a little bit deeper this time. Keeping the hands on the mat. Chin nice and high, chest nice and open. We're going to tuck the toes on the back foot. We're going to lift that leg so we're into a high lunge. If it's in your practice today, you can come up from here. If not, go back to your low lunge. Just plant that back leg and come down to here and come back up. Otherwise, you can keep that back leg raised, ground down into the feet. Make sure you've got a real stable foundation as you draw yourself up into a high lunge. Raining those hands back down to the mat. We're going to drop that back foot. Knee, I should say. We're going to draw the front leg behind us. We're going to come into a child's pose, so big toes together, knees nice and wide, and just dropping the hips back. Taking a breath, enjoying some time in a little love cave. Drawing the body back up into a tabletop position. From here, we're going to come back up into a high lunge. High plank, sorry. If this is too much for you, just keep in a low plank. It's just as effective. Listen to your body. Two more breaths. If you're feeling a little shaky, that's really, really good. Means you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. And we're going to drop the knees to the mat. We're going to draw the right foot to the front. And just feeling that beautiful lunge through the front of the psoas, opening up through the chest. We're going to take the hands behind and draw them up overhead. Might feel quite different on the side. It's really tight for me on the side. And raining those fingers back down to the mat. We're going to lift that back leg again. if it's in your practice. Otherwise, just keep on that front leg. Rock forwards and backwards. A little bit of rocking is always good. It's very calming. When you're feeling grounded through the feet, got your foundation strong, take the hands behind and come up. Woo! Really dipping into that. Remembering to breathe, raining the fingers back down to the mat. I'm going to drop that back leg, flatten the foot, and we're going to draw the front leg behind. Big toes together, you guessed it, back into our child's pose. We're going to draw ourselves back up into our tabletop position. We're going to slide the feet back behind us, dropping the belly to the floor, bringing the elbows nice and tight in towards the side, but in beside the body, hands flat on the mat, and we're just going to draw ourselves towards our hands into our Sphinx Pose. Bit of a back bend here. If this hurts your back, just bring yourself down further. Or you can take your hands out wide and just lift, engaging those legs. Otherwise you're nice and high. And we're going to slide the hands out from the body. Just let the chin come to rest. And then roll the head to the other side, lifting it and then dropping it to the other side of the cheek. Feeling the expansiveness of yourself as you're connected to the earth. We're going to draw our hands back. We're going to lift the body. We're going to lift the knees into our tabletop position, but we're on our elbows. And we're just going to slide those hands forward and get our chest as close to the ground as we can, pushing away so our hips are up and back, our puppy pose. And then we're going to just walk the hands, just drag them back towards yourself as you drop your hips back over the knees and lift yourself to rise. We're just going to come into the seated position, just sitting Japanese style. We're going to tuck the toes. We just get into those feet a little bit. Sitting nice and high, taking a breath. I'm going to take the hands nice and wide. I'm going to bring them behind into a prayer position, opening up through the chest. If it gets too much in the feet, you can always come lift the body off the feet, take the pressure off a little bit. Keep onto those toes if you can. It's got lots of nerve endings and things in your feet if you know reflexology, so it's great to get into the feet. You can drop the butt back if it feels good. So your hands are behind and facing up. If this is too much, just do what feels good for you. You know, come to a place. If you can't turn your hands right round, it's all good. We all start where we start, and our bodies are all made differently. We're going to come off the toes now, and we're just going to sink our bottom down onto the heels. We're going to take the hands out in front. We're going to wrap the right hand across the body, use the left hand to come underneath and over the top. Just get into those shoulders a little bit. Making sure your shoulders aren't up here, drop them down. Coming out nice and wide with the arms. And we're going to cross them the other way. So the left hand coming across the body, tucking the right hand up just above the elbow, making sure that they're nice and away from the ears. Coming back, opening them up. We're going to stretch them out wide again. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. We're going to thread the left hand under the right and bring the side of the face to the mat, pushing the hips out behind us. And I'm just going to draw that hand back towards us as we come back into our tabletop position. We're going to rock backwards and forwards a little bit. Get into the corners. Let's do some figure eights. And back the other way. Get those shoulders into it. Whatever feels good for you. Circles. Try and go back the other way. And we're going to come to a place of stillness. We're going to take the right hand. We're going to thread the needle through the left. Bring the right side of the face to the mat. Stretching out the other shoulder. Hips are nice and high behind you. And drawing the hand back up to our tabletop position. We're going to drop the hips and come onto our backs. We're going to roll, just pop your hands behind your thighs and just roll vertebrae by vertebrae down to the mat. Bring the knees with you. We're just going to make some circles with our hips. Round and round. Go back the other way. We're going to drop the left leg, hug the right knee into the left shoulder. We're going to draw it across the body as we look towards our right hand. You can drop it right over if it feels like that's in your practice, or just come part way, whatever feels right for you. Try to look away so we just get into that stretch. We're going to draw it back to the central body, drop it to the floor. We're going to draw the left foot in this time, crossing with the right arm across the body. We're going to draw that knee across. As we twist the other way, looking out towards the left hand. Drawing the knee back. We're going to drop that leg to the floor. We're going to move into our Shavasana Pose. So just the feet, the legs hip-width apart, hands just out from the body, closing down the eyes, breathing into the belly, filling up the chest, and letting it go, just letting the body soak in all that movement that you've created in your body. Letting it soften, letting it integrate. Letting the tongue just rest on the top of the mouth. Behind the front teeth is always good. Just scanning the body from the top of the head, the face, the jaw, ears, letting go of any tension, the neck and the shoulders, the arms and the hands, the chest and the belly, the pelvis and the hips, the thighs and the knees, the calves and the feet, and the toes, the Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just feeling the peace. If you've got somewhere to be and you can't just savor this delicious feeling, then just start to wake up the fingers, wake up the toes, wriggle them around. Maybe draw one leg up towards the body, bending the knee, then the other. Just rock the knees slightly from one side to the other. Drop them down to the left side, drawing the hands under the face and pushing your way to a seated position. Well done, my friends. Big pat on the back for joining me today, doing something for yourself, for moving your body, connecting your mind and your spirit. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you like my classes. My intention is to share with yoga with as many as I can. So please help me with this journey. Many blessings to you. Have an awesome day. Namaste.